Hello friend, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Becky if you're new, and today we are going to be talking about the 2024 Pantry Challenge. As of yesterday, I decided that I was going to participate in the Pantry Challenge that is hosted by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead. I've participated for the last 2 years, and between the holidays and my family getting sick for a month, I just didn't know if I had it in me to do a pantry challenge. And then I was watching some things about a pantry challenge. I was talking to Josh. And as of yesterday, I decided, yes, I am going to be participating. And so I kind of yesterday went through and kind of wrote out my rules. The number one rule that Jessica has for the pantry challenge is you make up your own rules for your own family. Basically, there are no rules, whatever works for you, because we all have different dietary needs, budgets, pantry sizes, and all those things. That the whole thing is you need to make up your own rules for your family. So I'm going to go over first what my rules for my family are going to be, or for me. I'm the one participating. My family is not participating. And so I'm going to go over what the rules I'm setting for myself. And then we are going to go through my pantry, some freezers, refrigerators. I'm going to collect some items that I want to know that I want to use during the pantry challenge. And we're going to clean out a freezer and just kind of, I'm going to go over what this entails for me. So the first thing, there are no rules. Make your own rules if you want to participate in this year's pantry challenge. The second thing is, now I'm going to tell you what my rules that I'm setting for myself. Basically, I'm not going to go shopping for the month of January at all. So it's still late December and I am hosting a New Year's dinner party here. So I'm actually going to be going grocery shopping today, and I will show you everything that I purchase. But in the whole month of January, there will be zero groceries. And I am going grocery shopping today, but I'm not going to be stocking up on things. You saw what my last Azure haul was. You saw I haven't been grocery shopping in weeks since the holidays. I've been eating down our freezer meals that we made together. I did breakfast and lunch ones. You have seen what my pantry and my freezers look like through the tours that I did. So you kind of have an idea of what I'm working with. And so today I'm going to be getting some fresh produce, mostly just things for the dinner party. And then I'm not going to be doing any bulk buying, any stocking up, or anything like that. But I do need to go grocery shopping for this party that I'm having. There are two exceptions to this rule. One, I get a weekly delivery of raw milk at my house, and I'm going to continue to purchase that. And the second thing is my son really likes fresh fruit as a snack, and that's something that I'm just going to make sure I keep on hand. I do have canned peaches and some frozen fruit and freeze-dried fruit, but if I run out of fresh fruit, I have apples from the orchard still in the refrigerator, but that is getting very, very low. And so I will give myself $10 a week for fresh produce, and that's it. So if I need something for myself, I need to be able to make sure that there is some fresh fruit in there. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I do want to make sure that I do have those two exceptions. The raw milk I'll continue to purchase, and the fresh fruit. Now, typically I put half and half in my coffee, and I am going to try to just use the raw milk because it separates, it's not homogenized, so the cream is at the top, the milk is down below, and it's a very rich milk even when I shake it, and it's a whole milk. So I'm going to try to rely on that and putting that in my coffee instead of going to the store and purchasing half and half for my coffee. And you have seen, I've got cheese and things, so we're going to be set. The only cheese is I am going to buy some Parmesan cheese because we need that for this recipe. So whatever I don't use for the party, I will have that to go into the pantry challenge. And I have no Parmesan cheese at my house right now. The second rule is that I want to go through my pantries, which we're going to do today, my freezers, and I want to pick out items that I know need to be used, and this is the perfect time to use them. I wanted to do this last year. This is actually an adapted version of what I did last year. This was on the list and I never got to it. So I want to make sure that I do that because there are things that I know are in my pantry, in my freezers, that need to be used. And so I want to go ahead and do that today with you. The second thing is I want to clean out my kitchen freezer. I haven't done that since we moved in. My deep freezers are clean. I need to get this one clean and organized. There's a bunch of random things that don't go in this freezer that need to go into the downstairs freezers. So we are going to do that together today. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to go through my spice cabinet at some point this month, get that organized. I know that that needs some attention. So that is just going to be one of the goals that I'm setting for myself, is to clean out the spice cabinet and streamline it. One of my goals, and I've been working on this for a while now, is actually to streamline my pantry and my food storage. I want to make sure I'm very, what's the word? Intentional about what I keep bulk on hand. I know that I have purchased things in bulk in the past that we can't go through that bulk items quick enough. So I want to pare back and just purchase in bulk the things that I know we can go through. This is why when it comes to purchasing my meat from a local farmer, I'm very intentional now about what cuts of meat I get, to make sure they're cuts of meat that we want to eat, and I'm excited to go into the freezers and get them, and that I'm not having to use a pantry challenge to use a bunch of these random cuts of meat. So I have some things I know in the freezer that we need to be used up. And so the whole goal of this pantry challenge is to use up these random bits and items. And then going forward, I want to make sure my pantries and freezers only have items in them in bulk that are things that we absolutely are so excited, and I'm not going to need a pantry challenge to use them up, if that makes sense. So 200 ears of corn that I preserved, we will use no problem. But some other thing, like, I don't know, we're gonna go through the pantries and I'm gonna find some things that we are gonna need to use up during this pantry challenge. So I hope that makes sense. So those are kind of my rules. Basically, $10 a week for fresh produce. I will keep getting the raw milk and use up these items that we're gonna find today. And then no other grocery shopping other than what I purchased today for the party. And then a couple things like, why am I doing this? One of the reasons I'm doing this is so that it encourages me to use up the produce that I put up last year. What is the point of trying to grow or locally source things if we don't end up eating them? Waste of time and energy and resources. So that's the number one reason. Number two, it's a good way to keep cycling through the items in the pantry, like bulk items. And that's another thing. I want to be very intentional. I want to store things that I know will go through. I know I can go through a bulk order of flour and oats in a very reasonable amount of time, because I do a lot of my own baking and we eat a lot of oatmeal. And so I want to make sure that those are the things I'm storing, and I'm not purchasing a massive amount of something that we just can't go through. So keep going through those dried bulk goods, save a few dollars, because every time I go into a grocery store, random things just fall into my cart. And so staying out of the grocery store, I know that I can save a few pennies using what I already have on hand. And I know that I have enough things on hand that we're gonna be eating very, very well for the next month. That is another thing that I forgot to mention, is Jessica hosts this pantry challenge for 2 months. I'm committed to 1 month because I decided yesterday I just cannot commit to 2 months. Maybe I will decide to extend it, but I'm really excited about the next 4 weeks, and I cannot commit to 8 weeks. So we will see if I end up deciding to extend it, but I'm excited to participate for the entire month of January. Another reason why is it's gonna cut down on waste in general, because it is going to be preventing me from going to the store and picking up things that are already packaged. A lot of what we are gonna be making are gonna be homemade items that don't come in packaging. I already purchased the item in bulk, or I've already canned it, and so we're not gonna be buying a bunch of packaged items because they are going to be generally homemade. The last reason that I'm participating is that it always pushes me, and it kind of teaches me what are the items that we go through the first, like what do we run out of, and that I realize those are things that we really like, and those are things that I should definitely keep in bulk, and what are the things that I really don't need to be buying in bulk. So this is kind of the whole thing, is really trying to get more intentional about what I keep in my pantry. And last year I had a rule where I wanted to do a new recipe every week, and I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I did not write that down, but I'm always trying new recipes, and so I'm sure at least every week we will be trying new recipes, and I will take you along this entire pantry challenge. So that is my rules in a nutshell. We give grace. I will share with you if I slip up and I end up buying something. This is for fun, and I hope that you find this super interesting. So the first thing we're gonna do is tackle this freezer. I have not touched it, so you are seeing exactly what this freezer looks like with no let's just see together. I know that it's gonna be not great. So this is what we're looking with. All my other freezers are organized except this one, so it's gonna feel really good to get this one organized and cleaned out. I did wanna mention I also have a Post-it note here and a pencil, because as I see things, and I'm thinking, oh, that would be a good thing to make for menu planning, I'm gonna write that idea down. So here is some apple quick bread. I don't have any breakfast freezer meals out, so I'm gonna put that there and we'll eat that for breakfast for the next few days. I think what I'm gonna do is end up just taking all of this stuff out so that we can clean this freezer. And what I think I'm gonna do as well is grab a basket, because some of these items I already know I want to bring downstairs. I want all of my things, my like things with like things. So you already know I brought all of my canned goods and brought them downstairs. Well, I have an area in my deep freeze where I keep all my nuts, and there's a bunch of random nuts here. I want all of those things next to each other, so like things are like things and I can keep track of things a little bit better. So one thing I'm definitely not gonna be buying at the store are any frozen vegetables today. These are actually from last year's garden. These need to be used up. These are sliced peppers before we even dig into this year's garden. I have a little random thing of corn that got forgotten about, spinach, all that stuff we are going to use. More nuts can go in here. Those, I've got a few things over here. I have 2 bags of frozen plums. These are frozen peppers. I'm gonna put those in with all my produce from the garden in the outside freezer. Let me just empty all this and then I'll figure out what to do with it. But if I'm bringing things downstairs, I'm gonna put them in this basket. If I'm gonna put stuff in my outside freezer in my garage, I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna start sorting like things with like things so that when I get this freezer clean, this is a chuck roast. This should not be up here. That should be downstairs with the chuck roasts. Then it'll be easier. Oh my goodness, I have a bunch of jalapenos. Didn't even know that. I think once I get this freezer clean, one of these sections I'll keep for the items that I want to go through during this pantry challenge, so that I have an area in my freezer that is easy to know that that's what needs to get going through first. So you have empty bags in here. Honest look at what my freezer looks like. It's way overdue. So I think I'm gonna grab a vacuum and I'm gonna vacuum out all this stuff first, and then I've got to figure out how to scrub that because it's frozen. I decided to pull out the shop vac, the big guns here, to get this vacuumed out. That worked really well. So another thing I'm gonna do today that I forgot to mention earlier is I'm gonna go through my fresh carrots from the garden. Well, I guess this kind of goes through going through like picking out items that need to be eaten. And I'm gonna go through my potatoes and onions and just check those and see how they're doing, because I know that that's gonna be a huge priority with this pantry challenge, is using up the fresh goods from the garden. So the potatoes and things. I am not gonna grow, see, one thing that this pantry challenge is gonna teach me is that I know I'm not gonna grow as many regular potatoes next year because we aren't huge potato eaters. We love sweet potatoes, and I didn't grow any sweet potatoes this year. But maybe we'll become, that's another thing that's kind of fun about the Pantry Challenge. Sometimes we find our new favorite recipes from doing the Pantry Challenge because it forces me to get really creative instead of just making what I want to make or what sounds good all the time. It kind of forces me to find new ways to make potatoes, and then maybe potatoes are going to be my new favorite thing, and I'm going to want to grow even more next year. You just never know. This feels really good to get this clean. I'm not sure though how exactly. I tried to Josh actually came to try to help me and take these drawers out. I wonder if you can take the drawers out. We couldn't figure it out. And actually put them in the sink like you can with the refrigerator ones. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I can take that out. And the bottom one definitely needs a lot more elbow grease than the top, and I think that's just because things tend to fall down. So I'm gonna get this clean. I'm not sure, I might have to get something to scrape that up. That is chipotle that fell in there. That actually worked really well. Okay, I'm gonna go throw that away. I'm gonna try to use this rag as much as I can, and then I'm gonna go grab another rag, a fresh one, and kind of do this whole thing again. Look at how beautiful it looks. I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect, but certainly 100% better. And now I need to get all of this goodness back into the freezer before it thaws on me. I think what I'm gonna do first is go through and pick the things that I wanna put into this is part of the Pantry Challenge. So here I had bought a rotisserie chicken. I got the carcass here, and I know I need to make this into broth. So I'm gonna stick this here. So this is gonna be my little container right here where I'm gonna put items that need to be used. These are some hamburger patties that I know need to be used. So where did here it is over here. I know that downstairs in the freezer down there, I have some hamburger patties that need to be used. So we're definitely gonna have hamburgers on the grill. Here are a half bag of hash browns that need to be used, a half bag of corn that needs to be used. I see a breakfast casserole in my freezer because I know that there was a half bag somewhere in here, we'll find it, of not hash browns, tater tots that I had got for some recipe and didn't use the whole bag. Here are some egg whites. These need to be used. That's something that I made eggnog. The egg whites I feel like could sit in the freezer for years, and I'm gonna put this here so that I make sure they get used. So I see a breakfast casserole with those egg whites. Put these hamburger patties here. The hamburger patties here will jog my memory that this needs to go downstairs. We need to use the hamburger patties. Okay. Frozen peas. I've had this bag for a long time. They need to be used. I'm just gonna put a section for frozen vegetables here. I know we'll go through a lot of frozen vegetables during this Pantry Challenge. I've got a few things of dough for the freezer. So I'm gonna put, this section is gonna be pizza dough. I don't have anywhere else in my freezers where I have dough. So I think that would be good to have an area where I've got dough in the freezer. These onions need to go here. A random half thing of chorizo from some recipe. So let me just get all this in here and then I'll go over it with you once I get it all in here, because I kind of want to work quickly because this is frozen stuff. Peppers. I've had these chocolates in this freezer for a year and a half. I'm not eating them. I'm gonna go ahead and toss them actually. Feels so good to get this done. these things are gonna go in this upstairs freezer. Okay, these items are going in, so is this freezer. Let me show you what this looks like, because this freezer is done. How all of this fit in this freezer, I have no idea. And it's why it was unorganized. I just brought in some things actually from the outside freezer. Let me show you what we got here. So here I have my dough. I've got some pizza dough, and I just put that on top because that's some cooked sausage, so we'll have pizza with cooked sausage. Here I have ginger pucks, garlic butter, and tomato paste. So those are kind of like cooking ingredient items. Some chicken that needs to be used up quickly because it's not sealed. Ice cream. Here is where I've kind of got our lunches. These are freezer meal taquitos, easy lunch. Here's my vegetable section. We have diced onions, spinach, peas that need to be used. And then here is this needs to be used during the pantry challenge. These strawberries need to be used up. Tater tots, hash browns, corn. Need to make some broth. Here I've got a random thing of chorizo that needs to be used ASAP. So I see some breakfast something here. And then I've got some cod here. I've always wanted to make fried fish tacos, so I think that's what we'll do with that. And that is, oh, and then I bought these for Christmas, and then we never used them, so we need to use those as well. Those are little smokies. Feels fantastic to get that done. I can't tell you how long I have wanted to organize that freezer, so nothing like a little pantry challenge to get a little motivation. These are all items, and this one too. Actually, I can see one of these that needs to go up here. I had, oh, see, here's a dough. This goes in here. It's a pizza dough. Now I know exactly where that goes. And I have diced onions just in Ziploc bag up here for easy grab and go. But I did dice some onions and I vacuum sealed these, so I've got an area in here. Let me show you. I have an area, if I can open this one-handed, right here, where I have vacuum sealed onions. So I'm gonna get this here. So I have, these are onions that I'll be using next summer probably when the fresh onions are done. That's why I vacuum sealed some of them. I wanna write on my list breakfast casserole so that I don't forget. I mean, it's gonna be hard to forget because I've got that drawer that's basically half those ingredients. So now I'm gonna bring this downstairs. The reason I'm bringing this downstairs is because I have an area where I have about 6 or 7 other chuck roasts, so I don't need a chuck roast up here. I can put that down there. Same with sausage, same with all these nuts and things like that. So we're gonna go down there. We're gonna do an inventory on the onions, see if there's any bad ones that need to be chucked. I apologize if you can hear my furnace. My freezers are not that full right now, but they definitely can use these goodies. So I'm just gonna take a second and put all these where they go. Chuck roast with my other chuck roast, sausage with my sausage. I can't tell you how long I have wanted to put all my nuts in one area. Today was the day. So all my nuts are in there. I did actually order a whole hog. If you guys have been around, you know the saga of I ordered a hog. It was a lard pig. I didn't get that much meat off of it. I only got about 40 pounds, and we've eaten about half of that. And if I didn't order it now, I wouldn't have been able to order it till next year, which what I have left would not have gotten us through the next year. So at some point I need to pick that up. But for now, I'm grateful. So the second hog that I ordered, my farm gave me a discount because they felt bad about the lard hog. And so it worked out because if I ordered it, I got the discount, plus I would be able to get us through the next year's worth of pork. So at some point I'm gonna need to pick that up. And that's not going towards the pantry challenge if it's ready during this pantry challenge. So now my basket is empty. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through my pantry and I'm just gonna pull a couple things that I know need to be eaten. Now, what I have done this last canning season is I am a lot more intentional about what I canned to make sure they were items that we really enjoy. We have been going through some of these things like crazy, and I already know, like the corn relish, that's not gonna get us through the year. So what I need to start focusing on is actually using the frozen corn as opposed to using the corn relish to make salsas, because we've got plenty of that. So here's my store-bought items. These are the things here. I think there's only one thing for sure. I have these 2 jars of capers. This is an example of when I ordered these on Azure, I thought, why not order 3? Well, these 2 jars have been sitting here a long time. We are going to be making chicken piccata, and I'm going to put these in this basket because this is something I want to make sure we use, and this is something that I'm never going to buy in bulk again. If I want to make chicken piccata, I'm going to run to the grocery store and pick that up. I don't think anything else here really needs to be used up except for these. I'm going to leave these down here, but I know we'll probably run through fresh cream. These are shelf-stable creams that I get at Trader Joe's. I probably should start using those. I've got 2 of these bags of chips. I got these for 90 cents on discount, and the date is coming up, so we need to use these 2 bags of chips for sure. I'm not going to bring those up. I know that we need to use those. And then one of my projects is to go through the spices. Like I said, this is my spice cabinet. And then here, okay. So this is really, you can see my potatoes have sprouted over here. I need to, you can use sprouted potatoes as long as they're still, oh yeah, they're firm. So what I should do right now is actually remove the eyes off of these potatoes because that will make them last longer. So I see this is exactly why I'm doing this. I'm gonna just actually set these up here because this is the only basket I have down here. I did find some gloves down here because, like I said, potatoes are not our favorite thing. And so I have not been paying attention on these. And if I'm not encouraging myself to use them, I don't want to lose them, and I could. So I'm going to take a minute here, pull these eyes off, and in the next 2 weeks, I see potato nachos. See, that's the thing. I love potato nachos. I have made that with you. I've actually made that a couple times. I see potato nachos in our future. I see, what else do we really like that have potatoes? Oh, we love potato salad. And I haven't made potato salad in a while because I think of that as a summer dish. But I could certainly use these potatoes to make, we're having burgers. So one night we're gonna have burgers and potato salad. So I'm gonna go through each one of these potatoes, remove the eyes. That will kind of stop them from continuing to try to grow. And this is going to be a huge win that I'm doing this today. And if I hadn't have decided to do the pantry challenge, I might not have done this today. And we very well could have lost these potatoes. And that would have been sad. And then I'm just going to go compost. That potato actually is pretty soft. So if any of these potatoes are bad, I'll just go ahead and compost them. That one too. I'm going to go ahead and just compost that. No big deal. You know what I could make too? We love shepherd's pie. I can't even remember the last time I made shepherd's pie. I think it was last year during the pantry challenge. So I've got all the ingredients to make that from the garden. We've got those peas we need to use up. So I didn't bring my list down here. I meant to bring my list down here. Okay, all the eyes are off those potatoes. I felt every potato. There's no rotten ones. Sorry, that was, I'm gonna go through these ones too. These are the russet potatoes. I'm gonna go through all 4 of my boxes and do the same thing. Last box here. See, I had on my grocery list sweet potatoes, and I've got 4 sweet potatoes here, and I really should not be buying sweet potatoes until I go through all these potatoes. So I'm gonna cross those off the list. All right, done with that. Another thing that I want to go through during this pantry challenge are some of these butternut squash. These I'm actually going to give to my chickens, so at some point throughout the next few months, I'll just open those up and give to the chickens. I do want to go through my onions and feel every onion and see how they're doing, just to check them. I have not done this since I strung them up. I should probably not wear gloves because I don't have as much. A couple of these are soft, so I'm going to pull these. I'm going to bring these upstairs to use first. So all these feel really good. I have boxes of onions over here that I want to go through. Those all look really good in there. That one's bad. That one's sprouting. That's not too bad. We have 2 bad ones, 4 soft ones. Happy with that. So another thing, when it comes to this party that I'm having this weekend, I try to look and see what I already have. So the appetizer, I've had these crackers for a couple months. They need to be used. So I decided I'm not going to make a fancy appetizer and buy something and use those crackers. I also have some Boursin cheese that needs to be used up. And so we're gonna have those crackers with the Boursin cheese. That's gonna be a beautiful appetizer. I have some cream cheese, so I could open some cowboy candy if I want. Now, I forgot that I wanted to look through here and see if there's any meat that needs to be used up. Almost everything in here are things that I'm excited to eat. Now, I do know, mentioned this earlier, I know that I need to go through these hamburger patties because those have been in here in a while. And then I do have a pork heart that I need to freeze dry into dog treats. So I'm going to check those as things I need to do. Here are all things we like to eat. You saw inside this freezer, it's mostly sausage, bacon, chicken. I don't think I've got all that lard we already rendered. So there's not a ton of meat things. That's always a thing during the pantry challenge that I feel like I've needed to go through and kind of force myself to eat. And I don't really have that because I've been more selective about what cuts of meat I get from the butcher. I also have these ham hocks though. These ham hocks I've had for a while. Okay, so this little box here has the heart, 2 tenderloins, and these ham hocks. So I'm gonna put these hamburger patties in this box down here, and then I've got this beef tongue. I could freeze dry this for dog treats, or we could make something out of it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that in this little container here. And this down here are the things in the freezer that we're gonna try to use mostly, or try to use up during the pantry challenge. I do have plans for some lard, for some lunches we're gonna be making, with some hot water crust and things. You'll just have to wait and see. I'm really excited about my plan. Oh, I wanna make more pasties, and it's gonna be cool to make it with the home rendered lard, hot water crust. We can use up a ton of potatoes and a ton of carrots. That's what I need to check on next. Part of my refrigerator where my carrots are froze. And so I noticed that a week ago, and I've been dreading pulling those carrots out. I know I need to go through them. If there's ones that froze and are starting to go bad, I need to compost those. Just like I needed to get rid of any onions that were going bad, because one rotten apple can spoil the rest. A rotten onion, rotten potato, carrots in a bag, if they start going bad, the ones around them are gonna go bad. So that's the next thing. I'm really happy with what we've done down here. We've got a thing down here we're going to focus on using, and I need to carry up these 2 because I know I wanna try to go through these. And then one other thing, I need to start going through some of this canned fruit, and you all gave me a ton of good ideas what to use with my mock pineapple. So I'm gonna go run upstairs and write my ideas down so I don't forget, because I wanna try to use some of these. These are canned blueberries, and I wanna try to use some of those. I'm getting more and more excited about this pantry challenge as I go through the freezers and refrigerators. So I got my capers here, so I'm gonna write down, I'll probably end up typing this out, but I want to remember what I was talking about downstairs. So capers, so we're going to make chicken piccata, and then I'll probably Google something that has capers. Maybe we'll make like a caper salad dressing or something. Chicken piccata, it's one of our favorites. Ham hocks, so we're going to do probably, I'm just going to put ham hocks there. Burgers, I'm going to put potato salad. I'm going to put shepherd's pie. Potato nachos, those are so good. I'm gonna put the canned fruit. So we've got canned blueberries, canned peaches, canned fruit, and the pineapple. I'm gonna have to look up those recipes, but you all had given me tons of recommendations what to do with the pineapple. And I think that's good. Okay, so I forgot that we got this pantry I wanna go through too with you. I think I want to go through this pantry up here before we go and deal with the carrots. I've got a half bag of couscous, a half bag of pasta shells, and 2 half bags of macaroni noodles. So I'm going to stick this all on the same shelf. How about right here? And those are items that I'm going to want to go through. I also can see right here, I have a half bag of large marshmallows. And I have probably a box that is about half full of Rice Krispies. So I'm gonna put Rice Krispie treats because we should probably go through those. I have a big bag of croutons up there that I bought at Costco. Way too big of a bag for us. We need to start going through those. I think I'm gonna put couscous with Moroccan meatballs because I have the things I can make that. I love couscous, so we'll make a couscous salad. And we'll make mac and cheese or some sort of pasta using the mac. I've got those there. I also have here some candied walnuts. So I want to write that down because I want to use those. Maybe we'll have to make some sort of salad. I don't know. But greens is going to be a problem. We'll figure it out. It's on the list. We'll figure out what we're going to do with it. Okay. So that's everything here. This pantry is pretty pared down. So, oh, I got one more thing here. Well, I want to make some ramen because this bag is opened. So we'll put that there. So this kind of is the area where things we're going to go through. I have some stuff. I had bought some candy making things. That just needs to go downstairs. Probably we'll use that at some point. But that's not really like a pantry thing that needs to be used up. I don't have any tortillas in my house right now, but I have ingredients to make tortillas. So I'm not going to purchase tortillas because I have the things to make tortillas. So we'll be making tortillas together during this pantry challenge. So this is the refrigerator, and I've got 2 cabbages that need to be used up from the garden. So we'll use those. Here are the apples that I have left. Here, we've been going through those very quickly. Those will be gone very shortly. And here are my carrots. So this bag has a soft one there, so I think I'm just gonna bring all these inside and we're going to inspect every single carrot. We've been going through a lot of carrots and there's still a lot of really good ones, but there are definitely some bad ones. So I'm just going to literally go through each bag, pick out the good ones, compost the bad ones. And part of my problem is my refrigerator froze. I'm gonna put them all in new bags too, just so that they're all clean bags. You can even see ice still on these ones. This whole bag looks fantastic. This didn't freeze at all. So you can see there's ice right there. So those ones that froze, this bag I lost the zipper. They are no good. As soon as they thaw out, they will, oh, that's my good ones. Those are gonna rot. You know, I'm glad I'm doing this because there are a lot more that are fine than I thought. So here we got our carrots all fresh and ready to go. I think what had happened is I had overfilled this refrigerator during the holidays, and this is not the best refrigerator, like the best quality refrigerator. We got this 2020 when all the craziness happened as a birthday gift, and it was literally the only one we could get. And so it's always had weird issues like that. So it's my fault. I overstuffed the refrigerator and I caused the refrigerator, the back of it, to get way too cold. So I lost about 1 gallon's worth of carrots to compost. No big deal. It's gonna be fine. But I'm very grateful I took the time today to go through that, because if I had just left that, I probably would lose all those carrots. So it was worth catching it, taking care of it today, composting what needs to be composted, and then we are gonna be eating a lot of carrots for the next month. Carrot salad, all the carrots, roasted carrots, all the things. So I'm really grateful that we took time to do that. So now what I'm gonna do is get ready to run into town to go grocery shopping. So that is gonna be the next thing. So stay tuned for that. And we are gonna prepare for our New Year's dinner celebration. And it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna use a lot of these goodies to make our New Year's celebration, but I need to get a few things. So that's what we're gonna do next. So if you're new, please consider subscribing so you don't miss anything. If you wanna watch some of my other videos between now and my next upload, I can pop those here. You can go enjoy. I'm really excited about the pantry challenge. I'm probably gonna type up all my ideas. I'm sure as I'm shopping today, I am gonna be thinking of more things to make, and I'm just looking forward to the next 4 weeks. I'm glad I feel better. It's awesome that the holidays are behind us. We had a great holiday season, but I'm ready to dive into this next adventure. And I know I need to start planning next year's garden too. I was watching gardening videos this morning and that was getting me really excited about gardening. I need to start ordering my seeds. Probably last week I should have done it, but no time like right now. So that's what I'm gonna be focusing on the next few weeks. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.